This gentleman had the chance to be a free agent, but decided to come back here because he liked it so much. Welcome back, Nick Martinez.
Nick looks like he just got back from a shoot of Maverick 2, right?
Gotta look sharp, you know. San Diego, sunny San Diego, gotta look sharp.
Not
baby.
for nothing, but the Padres have the best closer in Major League Baseball. Welcome back, Josh Hader.
Testing.
This next guy needs no introduction. He is one of your own, San Diego's Joe Musgrove. All right. Joe, I'll start with you. You've been here a long time and been around here a long time, grew up here. How amazing is all of this to you?
Man, I feel so fortunate to be able to be with the San Diego Padres at a time like this. I've been coming to games here since I was a little kid. Started over at Qualcomm, and I've never seen an atmosphere for baseball like this in San Diego my entire life, so I'm very grateful.
Joe, how do you do it? I mean, you're pulled from every which way. You handle it like a pro. You go out there, you deal what you do on the mound, but yet you're a man of the people. You're from here. Like you said, you were one of these kids once. How do you balance that?
I don't know. I think that's part of it. Is that I was here and I understand what the excitement that you guys are experiencing, the joy that you're going through in the postseason last year, the excitement with the new acquisitions, and kind of where baseball's at in San Diego. And after we lose the Chargers and the Padres are kind of like the last hope for the city of San Diego, it's a pretty good feeling.
Josh, I'm curious to get your impressions last year, the postseason, and what it was like for you in your first season with the San Diego Padres.
It's been great. I think that was one of the best baseball moments I've ever experienced. To do that for the city and to do that with this crew, to be able to welcome me in as a newcomer, it was great. Man, it's just so special to be here and see all you fans and enjoying it. That's what it's about, doing it for you guys, and you guys made this happen, so appreciate every one of you guys.
Josh, talk about last season, because you three know, everybody knows, no matter what level you play, there are ups and downs. Josh, what you handled last year, the way you went about your business and bounced back the way you did, how does a guy mentally do that? Tell everybody. I mean, I think it's a good lesson in life too, right? I mean, what you experienced, the ups and downs of a reliever. Nick's done it. Joe has done it, not only in baseball but in life. How does that take part of your life, and how do you deal with something like that?
I mean, you just got to think about it like this. You got to enjoy every single moment of it, whether it's good or bad, and just keep moving forward. At the end of the day, as long as you give your 100% effort each and every day, that's all you can ever ask for, and just, having the guys around, knowing what I was going through, having my back, just always pushing me to be the best person I can, being the best version. And what they say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and ultimately, we got where we needed to be.
Nick, you had the chance to go anywhere. You could have gone anywhere, and you chose to come back here. Tell us a little bit about that.
It was a pretty easy decision, man. This team wants to win, and I want to be a part of that. You guys, you sign guys like Joe, you bring guys like Hader, you have Manny, Toddy, Soto, now we got Xander. Man, this team wants to win a World Series, not just one time, They want to keep winning World Series, and I want to be a part of that.
Last year, you had a chance to start a little bit. We got a good feel for it. Everything went really well. Heading into camp this year, I think looking for the same, correct?
Absolutely, man. This is where it starts, man. You know, this is a little preview of what the season's going to be like, and the fans brought this energy. Man, it's contagious, man. We're going to bring that same energy on the field.
Hey, Nick, you had a chance to be able to pitch in the WBC, right? Now, a lot of factors, but when you see this, you see the success of the team last year, how you contributed, what were your thoughts as far as, you know what, prioritizing would be probably fair to say. How do you prioritize that and make that decision to where, you know what, I want to wear the brown and gold throughout spring training?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a tremendous honor to be asked to wear the the USA on the front and asked to represent your country. But they wanted me at a certain role, and the Padres had a different role for me, and so I felt like if I started the season unprepared, I felt like that was unfair to my guys. You know, everyone in that clubhouse is busting their butts for a World Series. If I showed up unprepared, that wouldn't be right, you know?
Josh Hader, I know adrenaline is a big thing, and certainly in the postseason there's adrenaline, but how much did the fans help you in the postseason?
You know, I think that's one of the biggest things that is underlooked, is not looked at, is, the atmosphere that you guys bring us. We feed off it tremendously, and, I think that's just maybe how I hit 100, I don't know, but, yeah, it was exciting to be a part of and just share that moment with you guys.
Josh, one for you to talk about these guys. What's it like in the bullpen to look at the rotation and see the setup guys that you're going to be following, saving games? When you look, what's your assessment right now going into spring training?
Oh, it's good. We got a solid squad, and just to be able to close out games for these guys that put in work 5+ innings each and every day. That's why we do what we do, right? They set the tone and we finish it. So, just fortunate enough to be in this pitching staff, learn. I think that's the biggest thing, is every single guy that we have on this staff brings something different to the table. To be able to learn from them, to be able to just get tips and just enjoy the ride. I think that's ultimately what we love to do.
Joe, it really seems like you embrace and enjoy being a leader of this team. And the last couple of off seasons, you've spent it working out with your teammates. That's something that seems to be very important to you.
Yeah, I mean, the camaraderie and that bond that you build in the off season is kind of what carries you throughout the course of the season. I think when you're standing side by side with a guy and you guys are putting in that sweat equity together and you're working hard and you're holding each other accountable and having guys with you to train every day, it's like you show up with the expectation that guy's going to push you, and I can't show up and not bring the same effort for him and continue to push him. So I've always enjoyed working out in that group atmosphere, and especially with teammates. And this offseason we had, more than 30 or so pitchers come out to San Diego that were willing to, get down for a week and work hard, have some fun, and ultimately get together and prepare for what we're getting into this season. And you guys saw last year, it takes a team of people to make this thing happen. And, this year we don't know who's going to be asked to do what role and at what time, and we just want everyone to be as prepared as possible and ready for when that time comes.
I saw you in the pool with Fernando Tatis Jr. How's he looking in the pool?
That kid's a freak. He's an incredible athlete in anything he does. But he's just fun to be around, man. Like everything he does, he's got this good spirit about it and the high energy, and he's someone you want to be around when you're training and preparing for a season.
Do I see synchronized swimming possibly in the future for Joe Musgrove?
Hey, I'll take a shot at anything, man. We're going to start marking them off the list one at a time.
Joe, when you were a kid, you said you went to Padre games with your family, and I'm sure there were some games where there were giveaways, right? You were excited to come home with a Padre item.
Yes.
How about this year? Who wants a Joe Musgrove bucket hat?
Yes,
right?
dude, yes.
Right? Bucket hats are awesome. You've got your own giveaway this season coming up. How's that make you feel?
It's so cool, man. It's so surreal being in San Diego and having that Padres logo next to my name. Was fortunate enough to get the bobblehead last year, which was really cool. I had one in Pittsburgh that was made, but it happened during the COVID year, so 20,000 bobbleheads are probably sitting somewhere in a foreign country, just sitting on a shelf. They never got handed out. So last year was my first official bobblehead, and now I have a couple bucket hats to rock around. It'll be sweet.
Nick, you were going to do the WBC, but then decided not to. Your thoughts on that process and why you want to spend all of spring training with the San Diego Padres this year?
Yeah, well, so the role that they had for me, normally any role that, they would have given me to play, represent this country, I obviously would have taken it. But given the timeline of when the WBC is and my priority with the team here, our goals for this year and beyond, it was hard for me. It was a very hard decision. I spent I think I knew ultimately what my decision was gonna be, but I waited like an extra week, to call Tony Regans and talk to him about it. But it just wasn't meant to be. Trying to work out different scenarios to see if I can go to the WBC as a reliever, but then come back to camp, get my proper progression as a starter, and then start the season on time as a starter. We tried a whole bunch of different scenarios, and it just wasn't working out. And I just felt like, ultimately, the reason why I came to San Diego is to win a World Series. And if I started the year unprepared for that, it just wasn't right. So, again, very hard decision for me, but ultimately, I think it's the right one.
Hey guys, how much does it mean to you when you're warming up for a game? Josh, you're getting hot, coming to a game. Nick, your role, to see the crowds like this at Petco Park, and when you come into the ball game, you enter that bowl, enter the area to go do your thing. You guys, just briefly, tell these fans how much it means to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are the definition of a home field advantage. That's what you want as a hometown team, to have a loud, rowdy crowd that shows up every night, rain or shine, heat or cold. You guys have been there for us through and through for the last few years since I've been here, and you guys are what make this atmosphere, and you guys are what make this ball club so much fun to play for.
Josh?
Absolutely. You guys make it fun to play this game, to be able to do it with you guys and enjoy every moment of it. Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's nothing better, honestly. This is why we do it, honestly. As a little kid growing up, you want to be in this position to be the best you can possibly be, and you guys bring that out in us, so always appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Nick?
Oh, man, I mean, it makes me want to rage, man. I mean, I'm about ready to crowd surf right now. I love the energy, man. You guys know I like to bring the energy. I'm very passionate out there, and, man, I feel like let it roar right now, let one out.
Josh, I want to ask you about your appreciation for the guys that lead up to you. I mean, that was a big part of last year also, the guys in front of you.
I didn't get that.
I'm sorry, it was for Josh Hader. Josh, the guys who lead up to you, the guys in the 7th and 8th innings that get to you, so huge last year. Talk a little bit about them and the importance of your relationship with those guys.
Oh, absolutely. I think, obviously coming in new, and they've been in the pen for a long time, and, just to be able to follow that type of caliber of guys, right, day in and day out, especially throughout the playoffs, it was just so, the energy that they brought, and you knew whenever that phone rang, it was every guy was ready to go. So, ultimately that's what you want, right? You get that energy and just feeds down the line, and each guy, you got to step up and do everything you can to follow the train.
I would imagine it's going to be a little bit more comfortable for you this year, spending the entire year with the same team and not coming over in the middle, and kind of whirlwind that last year was. Starting this year with this team will certainly help, I would think.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the best thing. I think ultimately we got the taste of what it feels like to be in that position, right? To be able to restart. Obviously, like we said, we got a lot of new additions to the squad. To start it from day one all together, to be able to get to know each other, get to go through that spring training grind, and we ultimately know what we are looking for and the end goal. So as long as we take it one day at a time and just enjoy every single moment we can, we're going to put ourselves in a good position to bring a World Series back to San Diego.
Joe Musgrove, yeah, give it up for Josh. What he said, World Series, said, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, it's been talked about, you've talked about it, being a leader of the starting rotation, of the pitching staff. Is that something you embrace?
Yeah, it's something that's new to me. I mean, I traded over to Pittsburgh in 18, right after the World Series year in 17, and I was kind of being forced into this leadership role at a time where I felt like I was still learning the ropes. I was only in my second career season, but I really developed a lot in those years there, and then having a chance to come back home and jump in a rotation with Darvish and Snell and Clevenger, like some guys that are pretty established. I was really just trying to do my part and make sure I carried my weight. And I think partially the success, the way that I go about my work, I don't ever try to be this forceful leader. I just kind of do my thing, and guys tend to gravitate towards the way we work. And I really think that it's a combination of everybody. You know, everybody on the team brings a certain aspect, you know, or a certain element to the team. And you try to, you know, recognize what that piece is that you bring and make sure you bring it every day, regardless of how well or how poorly you perform, and try to be that same person and bring that energy or bring that encouragement or bring the, you know, the reinforcement, whatever aspect you bring to the team, be that guy consistently.
My last question for Joe Musgrove. Until the postseason last year, my favorite memory in the time that I've been here was, of course, Joe Musgrove's no-hitter, the first no-hitter in the history of the San Diego Padres. I mean, has it sunk in even now that you are the only guy and the first guy to ever done it in the organization's history?
Yeah, that's so wild to me, man. And it's still like little pieces kind of set in as time's gone on. In the moment, you don't even realize the severity of it, but it's interactions like this, like it's days like today when I get to see all you guys face to face and hear your stories of where you were when it happened and how long you've waited, and telling me about your parents, you know, wanting this moment for so long. That's what really makes it so special. You know, I never even came close to throwing a no-hitter in my life, and you know, something about that night just feels like it was meant to be, and getting to hear the stories and experiences that you guys went through is the special part of it.
Josh Hader, are we going to see more TikToks? Are you on TikTok?
Am I?
Are you on TikTok?
I am. I'm on TikTok.
What's that?
I am.
Are you? What's your specialty doing on TikToks?
I don't know. I don't really
No?
have any specialties. No.
No? How about you? No?
I'm not on anything, no.
How about you?
No, my girlfriend enjoys TikTok, so I get enough of that from her, but I see I'm over
Interaction with the fans is pretty big though these days with social media. You guys kind of touch base with fans on social media. What's your deal with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Instagram and the Twitter stuff for me is kind of where I get the most interaction with fans. But really, it's the games. Like taking a few minutes before a game and going down the sideline, you know, meeting some of the people, shaking hands, signing some autographs, just kind of trying to make that experience as enjoyable as we can for you guys is, you know, every bit as enjoyable for us.
At this time, we're going to send it out to you, the Friar Faithful, for your questions for any of these guys up here right now, and we'll check in with Jesse with the first one.
Yeah, so I've been gathering some questions, and we have one question that has been asked quite a lot. It's a tough one, and we're going to ask all three of you. We'll start with you, Nick. We've asked this before. We have some new guys in the clubhouse. Who do you think has the best hair in the Padres clubhouse?
It definitely ain't me, so.
It ain't you, Nick. I'll tell you that, buddy.
Flow. Who's got some flow on the team? Toddy's got great hair. Hader's got some flow. Who else? I mean, probably Toddy. It's iconic, right? I mean, I see some fans here with the hat, with the dreads already dyed. So I think you got to go with Toddy with that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to second that one. I mean, I got long hair and I enjoy it, but Tatis has the best stuff.
I'm going with Josh Hader. Versatile hair. You can put it up. You can let it hang. You know, you oil that thing up a little bit when he comes out for the ninth. Yeah, that's my pick right there.
Awesome, thank you. And we have Elsa right here. We'll start with you, Joe. Elsa wants to know, who is your biggest inspiration throughout your career?
Who is my biggest inspiration? I don't know that I've had one consistent person that I would say has really changed the game for me, but at a time in my life where I feel like it was the most impactful, Jake Peavy was like my idol growing up. And I came to San Diego, and I was number 59 my whole career, and Chris Paddock had that number when I got here, and we talked about what numbers were available, and 44 was the first option I heard, and the connections that, you know, I had to him as a kid and watching 44 in San Diego, being my favorite player, watching the way that he pitched, the style he had, the intensity, the emotion, that was kind of how I felt like I was, and I wanted to be like that as a kid. So, you know, at a young age, he was very impactful for me to see that there was guys at the biggest stage acting the way that I felt like I wanted to be. So.
My biggest inspiration would be Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera. I think growing up and just watching those guys close out games, the way they handle themselves, has been just unbelievable, and that's something that growing up is what I wanted to emulate my game as, and you know, just being in their position and close out games, it's special.
Biggest inspiration, you know, growing up, I always looked up to my cousins, believe it or not. They always played the game, you know, the right way, and my dad was always telling me to look them to how they played. I didn't really look up to a lot of famous people. Growing up in Miami, Marlon's always trading people, so not many guys to look up to are there for a long time. But I'd say my cousins.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank all of these guys being up here today. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Appreciate it.